Steve, yo, you're talking to a winner, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
We got it done.
Semifinals, here we come.
Semifinals, here we come. We got it done. We defeated Tim in a very, very hard-fought match. Tim had a great season. Just came up a little bit.
Can't shake you, man. Tim can't shake you.
Can't shake me. Another disappointing season ends now. Two interesting factors from that game. So I ended up winning 124 to 106. So it was a close match. Jameis ends up with more fantasy points last week than Aaron Rodgers. Just great coaching. Great coaching.
Yeah.
And
you did say Jameis. Between Jameis and Fitzmagic, like that's all you've needed from a GM standpoint for your fantasy team. Like they've been your golden ticket.
Golden ticket. We had the whole dilemma of the Buffalo Bills, the dumpster fire Bills, who just proved once again they're a dumpster fire, losing to the Jets. They ended up scoring the same amount of points last week as the Texans. So it was a wash. I ended up going with Buffalo. But yeah, we'll take it.
It's got to be a good feeling though, knowing that the Buffalo Bills defense propelled you to the semifinals of your fantasy football league. Like that's pretty ironic. Because we haven't gone a week this entire NFL season without referring to them as the dumpster fire Bill. So it's pretty ironic that they got you there. Now I assume you're not playing them this weekend. You got to go back to the Texans, right?
Going back to the Texans, because guess who they're playing?
Are they playing the Jets?
The Jets. So I'm going up against 2 weeks in a row, going up against Mr. Darnold.
Yeah.
Playing Saturday, by the way. Excited for those Saturday games.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I got to get back into the mindset of Saturday game. I wasn't even thinking that.
I know.
I'm just so disenchanted right now with the NFL. I'm like a sad puppy right now.
Why was there news today about your team?
Oh God! Not only do we have like just a very one of the most unlucky bounces. You know, they could have run that play 100 times, and that ball would have only been deflected straight up into Amari Cooper's arms one time, and it was that. And it was Sunday night. And it's funny, Aaron actually said that she felt that something was off with Carson. This wasn't moving right, wasn't throwing the ball right, and sure enough, it comes out today that I don't know if it's confirmed, I was getting texts all morning that he's potentially going to miss the rest of the season with the back injury. Is he for sure out? Has there been any updates? Because I've been just kind of on the work grind.
Yeah, no, it's basically what you saw. He could miss the remainder of the season. I don't see why they would play him anymore. I mean, you guys are pretty much done. So disappointing season.
The annoying thing is, like, yes, we like pretty much are done, but like we're not quite done.
Look at you.
You know what I mean? But it's the truth. Like, call me just a masochist, right? I'm a glutton for punishment. But like, mathematically, we're not quite eliminated now. Are we going to go into LA and then fly back across the country and take on the Texans and beat them in back-to-back weeks? That would be a monumental feat at this point in the year for this Philadelphia Eagles team, in my opinion. But any given Sunday, baby.
This is Nick Foles' time of the year, too.
Nick Foles, man, he comes alive when it's all on the line.
So
BDN, as a lot of my friends like to call him, Big, Nick. So we'll see how it goes down.
Dude, your Packers.
I know.
Are they back?
Hey, I did say that. Like
you were on that.
Aaron would kind of come out, out of resentment or out of a sign that it wasn't anything he was doing wrong. I'm still, again, like I said, just be totally defeated as a fan to like even want to look at the NFC right now. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, that if the only team on the outside I feel that would get in would be the Packers. I know that the Vikings just look like terrible.
It's amazing.
I don't know what happened. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I feel like who is this team? Like, how are they not this good? Like, what is going on with them? But and every week they keep I don't want to say surprise because it's not a surprise because they keep doing it, but it's just like they keep trumping themselves somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
So that's where I feel that the Packers would be the team because of the tie and because of the head-to-head that they could leapfrog them. I just don't know. I think that they'll get to 8-7-1, the Vikes, and I don't know if any of those other teams can get to 9-7 to jump them.
Yeah.
Again, it's just that tie is going to be this deciding factor.
Do we think Cam Newton's hurt? Is that what happened here?
I don't know, man.
What the hell happened to that?
Free fall. At least McCaffrey still is just churning out points for you.
He's been amazing.
What are they? Are they 6 straight losses now?
Oof. Let me look at that.
Is that something like?
That would be embarrassing. Let me check. It feels like it's 6 straight losses. Let me check. I mean, they've been just terrible every single week, especially on the road.
Yeah,
it's 5 in a row now. They've lost 5 in a row, and they are
5 in a row.
You know what's crazy? They're 5-1 at home this season. 1-6 on the road.
1-6 on the road. They just can't get it done away from Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, I don't think after losing 5 straight this point of the year, you're turning it around. I think it's kind of an indictment of what your team is. Riverboat Ron on the hot seat, do we think? Or
it's a little lukewarm, I think, right now.
Yeah.
This is kind of a disappointing season. They really should be a playoff team, but not the way they've been playing, obviously.
Yeah.
But they've got enough players.
This, what, 15-1?
Yeah, not that long ago.
4 years ago?
Yep. Super Bowl appearance.
Super Bowl appearance, get destroyed by the Broncos. And then we had the Pats. Where did we go? Pats. Whereas Pats Seahawks was before that. I can't think of the years now. I'm like,
it's just Pats every year. They just blend together.
Pats every year. Yeah, let's be real. So it's like the Broncos snuck in there, but it's been Pats every year. But 4 years ago, they're 15-1. They're looking like the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and now they're a shell. So that's where again, I didn't necessarily think about any Riverboat Ron being on the hot seat, but just talking about him now, I'm like, ooh, man. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Rams. I think it's going to be Rams Saints. I know that the Bears beat up the Rams, but at this point, unless there's a monumental collapse by the Rams, they're not playing in Soldier Field in the playoffs.
What I know,
You know what I mean?
I know it's still. I'm with you on that. I know it still stings, but watching this team pretty closely on Sunday, what is your takeaway of the Dallas Cowboys right now? Are they good?
No, I don't think that they are. I just can't get on board with Dak Prescott, man. I just have been calling him Captain Checkdown for I feel like since Sunday afternoon. Since games started out here for me around we were 125, and it's just Captain Checkdown. Now I know then that he did hit Amari Cooper deep once for a kind of a killer touchdown where Eagles had marched down the field, tied the game, and he next throw it was like a freaking bomb to Amari. But
brutal.
I don't think that you can say that was like super impressive, considering that our secondary on the Eagles has just been absolutely decimated, cremated, whatever word you want to use. I think I heard them say that this is the 13th. We've had now 13 different starters in our defensive backfield this year.
Insane.
It's insane. So there was also countless times where he had the other Dallas wideout Gallup wide open streaking down the sideline because he'd again beaten Sidney Jones, who I think was running on one hamstring, and he airmailed it, like he airmailed 2 or 3 of them. So I just, I think you get a team that's actually healthy in the defensive backfield, has talent back there. Like I don't think that they're going to do anything, and Zeke is a beast, but I think that the defensive, if you have a strong defensive front, and if you have a strong defensive front, you can neutralize Zeke. I mean, he did kind of get off a little bit in the first half, but he was held in check in the second half. Didn't really do anything.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, no sweat. He did catch a couple balls. He is dangerous on that front. And if you get him rolling with a head of steam, he's tough. But I just don't. I don't think that Dallas is going to do anything in the playoffs. You know what? They're gonna go in and be the 4 seed, I guess. Yeah, because they're not going to jump the Bears, and they're going to have to play the Seahawks. I mean, come on, man.
No,
you know what I mean?
Wow, you're cocky. So you think Seattle beats them? I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they beat them. I think Seattle would go in and beat them. It would be kind of like that Romo picture where he one of the greatest non-Eagles moments of my NFL career when the Cowboys had Seattle beat. Like, they just had to kick a field goal, and Romo botches the hold and then tries to run it in, and they tackle him at the 1, and he's sitting like hands and face mask. It's
classic.
I will never forget it. Oh, it's brilliant. I'll never forget
do we remember why he was holding the snap on the kick?
I don't know. I have no idea why he was the holder at that point. He's the starter, and he's holding it. Like, were they trying to fake it? I didn't get it. I don't know. Now, one thing that I do want to say from this weekend of football, because I saw it a couple of times with the Eagles, and they've done it this year a ton, where like they have teams in 3rd and 20, and they like literally sit like at the 20-yard mark. Or the Patriots, right? They have the Dolphins beat dead to rights. They're up 5, and the Dolphins have to go 75 yards. And so, like, they literally sit half of their team on the other side of the 50. Like, why do teams in those instances just not play tight coverage? Like, I mean, I know you don't want to get beat there, but it's just something that has, like, been bugging me with the Eagles a lot, where, like, we'll have a team 3rd and 21, and, like, we stop them, we would get amazing field position, but then, like, we sit 20 yards back, and they get 17 yards, and it's like, all right, great, that's now the field position is nullified. Or, you know, again, the Pats, the game's over. Like, just play them tight coverage. They're not going to throw a 75-yard if someone gets loose off man-to-man coverage, then, like, that's you know, I could live with that versus just giving these guys space to run and get up ahead of steam and run these, like, crazy trick plays. Like, you're just setting yourself up for disaster, in my opinion.
Yeah, play them tight, and you always know you have Gronk back there, right?
Yeah.
What an idiot move by Belichick. That was terrible.
But, like, do you are you with me there? Like,
I've noticed the exact same thing this season. I can't stand it. It's killing me. 3rd and 20 all the time. Every single time a team throws a screen on the 3rd and 20. Every time. Yep. And they do get at least 15 yards every single time. Sometimes they even get the first down. It's like, what are defenses doing?
I've seen it. Yeah, what are they doing? Like, you know, either like it's a team where they're going to run they're going to run a draw because they know, like, we're never going to get this, or again, it's going to be like a little dump down, check down. But like
every time,
you give these guys enough space, like, and then linemen release downfield. Like, I don't care how many guys you have back there. If 3 linemen plow out enough space, the guy is going to get 20 yards.
Yep. I've noticed it too. I noticed it on Sunday. It's been bugging the hell out of me. It's terrible. A lot of questionable defensive moves this past weekend.
Coaching too, like, again, I obviously I'm like going to harp on the Eagles game here because it's still fresh, it's still salt in the wounds. I watched every second of it. You know, the Eagles at the end of regulation, they get one. The officiating was god awful. I'm sorry, like, and I'm not like trying to be like this bash the officials. Like, they're humans, I get it, but like the first play of the game, the guy clearly fumbles. The Eagles clearly recovered.
Yeah, like, what was that?
We could not tell. There was inconclusive who recovered the football. The ball was out of their hands. The Eagles guy came out with it. 3 Eagles guys were on the pile getting the ball. Like, I think it's pretty conclusive that the Eagles recovered that fumble. 1. 2, Dallas Goedert to play, where I don't know if you saw this highlight, but he, you know, runs a quick slant, and literally the defender jammed his face mask almost knocked his helmet off, right? So they kind of have a hand fight, and he breaks inside, gets a pass, takes it to the house, touchdown. They call offensive pass interference. I'm like, there's just some terrible officiating, but I also am slightly annoyed with Doug Peterson. You know, I said it to a friend of mine that lives in Hawaii. He's like, how you feeling? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, the last couple of weeks I've just been questioning, like, Doug Peterson's decision making. He's like, dude, you can't say that. And I'm like, I know I feel weird saying it, but like, there's just something about how things have played out that I just haven't been confident in him for some reason. And it happened again Sunday. So
hot seat.
It goes to hot seat.
I was talking about this
fresh off the Super Bowl championship.
only in Philadelphia. I was talking about this with a Philly friend the other day too. Doug Peterson was incredible last year. Like every single move he did worked, and it was incredible. This year has been the complete opposite. Like he hasn't done anything right. It's been a horrible season for him. What happened?
He was King Midas last year. Everything he touched turned to gold.
It's true.
He's King Turd this year. Everything he touched turns to shit. Just hear me out. So we tied the game. Dallas Goedert gets called back. We still end up scoring a touchdown. Then the Cowboys start marching down the field, looking like they're going to hit a field goal at the end of the game, like they did against us in Philly to win the game. We get 2 sacks in a row, so we push them out of field goal range. We still have a timeout left. There's 15 seconds left, and Doug Peters on a 4th down, he doesn't call timeout to force the Cowboys to punt the ball. Like, to me, I was screaming at the television, and Aaron's like, "What are you yelling about? Like, calm down." And I'm like, "There's 15 seconds left. We have a timeout. It's 4th and 40. Call a timeout. Make a punt." Because guess what? I've lived through at the Giants' expense.
Settle down.
To bring these back again. But I've lived through Brian Westbrook returning the punt at the Meadowlands. I've lived through Deshaun Jackson returning the punt at the Meadowlands. Like, these things happen. But, like, if you're not going to use your timeout and put the team in that situation, like, you're never going to know.
Yep.
I mean, we have Darren Sproles that's going to return the punt in that instance. Like, you never know if he's going to break it.
Yep.
So I'm just,
love it.
Love Doug. I mean, he's our coach, for the foreseeable future. We've been severely handicapped with more injuries this year. I thought last year was bad. This year seems to be worse. But it's just, there's been a couple instances where I'm just like, he leaves me scratching my head.
I love how salty you are right now.
Oh God, you could probably hear it, just taste it in how I'm speaking. Sunday was bad. I couldn't even watch that Sunday night game. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted nothing to do with football after that.
Oh, you're done. I get it. And
my fantasy is in the shitter. Oh God, so bad.
Well, maybe you can switch to basketball. I have some breaking news right now.
Oh my God, dude! I already know what you're going to talk about. Go ahead.
Well, the Brooklyn Nets just defeated your Philadelphia 76ers.
How does Spencer Dinwiddie have a career high every time he plays the Sixers? I don't get it.
He just went off against you guys tonight.
I don't get it, dude. And how does the Nets have their best game of the year every time they play the Sixers?
We love playing you.
Oh,
we match up nice.
So frustrating.
You guys...
I had a text while driving back. You had texted me Pod. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the car, so I'm good. See another text come in from my boy Creighton. He's like, what are the Sixers doing tonight? ? So I go to click the phone real quick, and I'm like, and it's Philly versus Brooklyn, and I'm like, and of course I got to get on the phone with Tom.
Great timing.
So I put it on the radio. We're down 10 with 1:45 to go, and I'm like, typical. I see Spencer Dinwiddie, new career high again. I'm like, this is
do you want to trade us Fultz for Dinwiddie?
Oh yeah, dude, you can have Fultz at this point.
Wow. So
no, I'm just kidding. But dude, there's some drama. I texted you on Saturday morning?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. What's going on?
Man, Joel, he's stirring it up. I guess since Jimmy has come into play, he feels like his usage isn't to his liking. I just hate when players do these things.
It's been a month, and you guys have won every single game.
Now we lost to you guys. We ended up losing to the Raptors. I'm trying to think. There was another loss in it. We maybe lost 3 games since Jimmy's been on the team.
I think the losses have come since the drama crap, though, for the most part.
Yeah. I just hate when players get like this. It's just at the end of the day, you're here to win. Yes, of course, everyone wants their numbers. Everyone wants to be, in the spotlight. But, at some points, guys are going to get hot, right? That's what I feel like I said a few weeks back with the Warriors, where you just have to respect the fact that, you have arguably 4 guys on the team that, Draymond is not going to be the number 1 offensive option, but you have 3 guys on the same team that are basically every other team in the league's number one scoring option, and they're on the same team, and they really don't bitch about getting enough shots, getting enough usage. You know, they just understand that we're here for the commonality to win this damn ring. So then when you kind of see JoJo, and like they're totally different positions. It's like, man, just Jimmy's going to take a lead role every now and again, and I feel like I said that when the trade first happened. Like, there's going to be games where the matchup is going to be better for Jimmy. So, like, he's got to get the ball. I don't know if it's immaturity. I don't know if it's, you know, Joe thinks it's his city. But, like, that's not what I wanted to read on a Saturday morning.
I love this. This is the podcast. You've turned on Doug Peterson and Joel Embiid. This is amazing.
I can't turn on Joel.
No, it's too late. You just did. You hate his guts.
I just think that, you know, again, the maturity aspect's gotta come around, and you know, then but you did call this. I'll tell you. You're like, are they going to get along? Is there going to be some discord? I mean, you kind of saw the writing on the wall.
I'm a little worried. It's a little early for this to be going down, especially while things are good and they're winning. It's not a good sign for you.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder though, like if one of those game-winning three-pointers was like Joel hitting it versus Jimmy. I mean, like he hit two of them. If Joel had hit one of those, you wonder if he's like complaining about this.
Weird.
But yeah, Philly sports fans, we're kind of like we're in a weird spot right now. It was a tough weekend, and it could be a tough week. Another tough weekend coming into LA and taking an L to the Nets. Oh God. Is that 2 losses to the Nets this year for the Sixers?
It should be. Yeah, I think it is at least, and it should be 3 because Jimmy hit the game winner and the one.
Jimmy hit the game winner.
Yeah, we own you guys. We basically own that Atlantic Division. We're right there.
Yeah, you're right there.
And we're doing it all without Karras, which is just incredible.
No Karras. All you need is Spencer. Spencer coming off the bench with 35 or more. Ugh.
We're deep.
So what are your storylines the next let's say 2 weeks in NFL? Like what do you see happening?
I want to see how.
I mean, aside from the TD Monster choking this weekend, I mean, like fantasy aside, who you see any shake up really, or you know, I know that we kind of touched that we think the 6 teams are going to stay in, but could you see a crazy headline popping?
What I really want to see, honestly, I'm interested to watch tomorrow night's game with the Chiefs and Chargers. I want to see what the Chargers are all about, if we can buy it, because the 10-3, and they had that nice win in Pittsburgh, which we'll see how nice that win really was. If they can go into Kansas City here, play a tough game, and at least be competitive, if not win, then I will jump on the Chargers bandwagon a little bit. I still do not trust them. I still feel like they're the Chargers. They're going to blow it at the end of games. But they've got a strong defense. Phillip Rivers is solid and a must-start this week, I think, in fantasy.
What's up, Dolly?
I'm really interested in watching that game. I'm also interested in seeing how Lamar Jackson bounces back from the Chiefs game. Because he made a couple rookie mistakes there. The fumble at the end was really bad. That could have been catastrophic. They got lucky to be able to go to overtime. I want to see how he bounces back because I was impressed that he at least kept them in the game in Kansas City. I thought that was impressive. What about you?
I think my main one now at this point is Aaron Rodgers going to stay hot?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Is he going to take the Packers to the playoffs? At this point, no fantasy, the thought of an Eagles making a playoff run is probably not going to happen. So I want to see if A-Rod can get rolling. Now that you don't have to play him this week in fantasy, you could probably root for him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tim. And
consolation game. I'm rooting for Tim in the consolation.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all on Team Tim for this weekend. But I think he obviously has the ability to do it. There's not many quarterbacks in the league that you would say 4 weeks left in the season, you're 4-7-1, you have to go 4-0, here's the ball, here are the keys, go do it. Obviously he's, maybe one of 3 at this point, one of 4 potentially, but he's probably the top 1 or 2 option. So that's what I'll be following here these next couple weeks.
I like it.
I think he does. I think he does it though. I mean, I know that I've said like, oh no, it's just going to be these 6. I just have this sneaky suspicion. I said it last week. I don't know, and I don't know what made me think of it. It's an Aaron Rodgers thing to do, man.
I mean, if that happens, you were on it before anyone else was on it. Right after the coach gets fired, you called that.
Yep. We're gonna have to play that one back. Send it in. Send it everywhere.
We will. We'll send that to everywhere. Let me just pull up their schedule. It's doable. So the big one is this week. The big one is this weekend. They're at Chicago.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. I think they're at Bears.
Division game. Correctly. Bears are hot. Defense is great. We'll see if they can win that game.
And we all remember what Aaron Rodgers did to the Bears week 1.
Yeah. They beat him. Came back.
Down 20-0.
Came back.
Hurt. You think his season's over.
Right.
He's like Frazier coming out of the locker room in MSG. Hey, well, and speaking of, a different Frazier, to get onto a different sport, I did see Creed 2 this weekend, man.
Oh, what'd you think?
Segue to boxing. I mean, I'm a Philly guy. I'm gonna love anything in the Rocky Balboa series. It was a more developed storyline, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. I liked it.
A lot of Drago.
I kind of like, it was interesting to kind of see that different perspective because, like, in Rocky 4 when Rocky beats Drago, spoiler alert there, sorry guys. All you really see out of Drago is like his training. Like you don't ever really get any type of a story behind him. So it was interesting to see that.
So can we?
I thought Michael B. Jordan's training sequence for that. So again, spoiler alert for fight 2 there. I thought it could have been a little bit better.
You're on fire right now.
Yeah,
you're going after Joel Embiid, Doug Peterson, and now you're attacking the Creed franchise and Michael B. It's his training. This is unbelievable.
It was. I kind of was laughing at his like run scene at the end. Like he was sprinting, but he was. I mean, here's the running critic. I mean, he's sprinting, but he's heel striking. Like, watch any sprinter. Like when they're sprinting all out, they're not heel striking. They're up on their toes. But I thought the fight sequences were great though.
Me too.
That's one thing. With the new way to shoot films, like if you watch the old Rockies, it's just kind of like you're actually watching an actual boxing match where it's like from afar, you don't really get, but like to see how they're able to get in close and show some of those shots, I thought it was pretty good cinematography there.
They were really good. 2 things I gotta ask you. Like, what was going on with Bridget Nielsen, Drago's, I guess, ex-wife?
Weird.
She's just a horrible person. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, that was so strange. Like that to me, like, again, it was part of Drago's story, so like it kind of like gave you a little substance there, but it just seemed random a little bit.
It made no sense.
And then she like did she even say a word? Like she maybe said a few words in Russian, and that was it.
Yeah, I love it.
She was just gone. She's
just gone. She's like, I'm out of here. Wait, let's go. Who are you hanging out with? Like, what's happening?
It seemed kind of unnecessary, but it also seemed that like that was also a point when that kind of did Victor Drago in. Like when he looked up and saw that his mom had left, it's kind of like, okay, it happened again. Like I'm a failure. You know what I mean? And then that mentally broke him.
Yeah. It just made no sense.
I thought it was a stretch.
It was such a stretch. I get it where he's coming from.
Yeah.
If my mom was like that, I would be upset. I would throw in the towel. I just don't. Yeah. What's she doing? She doesn't even acknowledge him. Like, it's crazy.
No, I know. What's 2? What's? Do you have a part 2?
I liked when they were in the hospital, and Rocky kept wanting to call his son, and he leaves the room, and there's just conveniently a telephone hanging on the wall.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Rocky doesn't have a cell phone. There's a random hospital phone. Like, what's going on?
There's a random hospital phone in LA that's gonna call to Philly. No charges, no problem. No security code to punch like the number to allow you to make an outgoing call.
Right. That was a little weird.
I actually found I remember that happening and in my head being like, that phone would never be able to call Philly from LA for a random person just to pick it up.
Amazing.
I did like the soundtrack too, though. That's one of those where I'm gonna have to maybe kind of search that out on a Spotify or
Soundtrack's
Amazon
sick.
Music. Yeah, the soundtrack was strong.
It was good. So I did it. I did that. I went into Spotify and I was like, like right after I saw the movie, I was like, I'm just gonna pump this. I think the first movie soundtrack's a little bit better, but
of course, it's legendary.
Second one's
but
strong.
This one's pretty good.
It's made me love Meek Mill. Like anytime I hear Meek Mill in a song, I'm like pumped up now. So
yeah, dreams and nightmares, baby.
Good.
It's gonna go down in infamy.
Exactly. Great career move for Meek.
Yep.
Your boy.
My boy, man. It's you can't think of Meek. I can't say Meek Mill or think of Meek Mill without thinking Super Bowl champs.
Wow. Seems like so long ago, huh?
Seems like so long ago, dude.
What happened? All right, dude.
I'm gonna need a hug from after this one.
Yeah.
After revisiting all these fresh wounds.
You're mad. You're shaking. You're turning on all your loved ones. It's not pretty.
Philly, I love you.
So hey, listen. I need you. While Solly's texting you, asking for advice because he's struggling here.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to give him some terrible advice. I'll
Rivers.
start. You should be you should.
I'm gonna say you should cut them both and pick up Wentz. He's ready to roll, even though he's out for the rest of the year.
Wentz is about to go off. You have to pick up Wentz.
I'll see what he says. I actually may do that just to mess with him.
That's a great call. Maybe he can also drop Sonny Michel and pick up Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
That way,
Hunt, I hear he's available.
Yeah, I mean,
on the waiver wire.
The TD Monster's looking for him in the flat there on 3rd and 20. Not a bad guy to have.
You're worried about Sonny Michel, huh?
I'm worried.
Are you worried about what the Patriots are? The Patriots are now going to run the score up on whoever they're playing this weekend. So
you could
have 4 touchdowns.
They're in Pittsburgh this weekend.
Oh, that's right. I did know that actually.
I've got Juju. He's got AB.
Oh boy.
Yep. It'll be interesting.
Oh man, so he's got AB and he's got Sony.
Yep.
Yeah, you could. That'll be tomorrow night and that game. Those are the two that you're keyed in on.
100%. So yeah, we just got to get through tomorrow somehow.
Good luck.
Ugh,
I'll be thinking of you.
Thank you, man. He's going down. All right. Everybody, thank you for checking out the pod. Go subscribe on iTunes. Check it out. And we will get back to you next week with the results. And
with the update.
Yeah, hopefully, some more bad things happen to Philly so Steve can stay in this mood. It's great.
I don't know if they could be any worse.
It's great.
I have my cousin visiting me and Aaron this weekend, so I'll be in a much better mood because we'll have some fun.
All right. Well, good to hear. I'll talk to you next week. All right, bro?
All right, bro. Good luck.
Kobe.
TTTTP.
Brooklyn.